Hey guys, this is the Mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the most recent episode of Put a Ring on It, Season 3, Episode 3. The episode begins with a continuation from the previous episode, and the men are debriefing Dr. Nicole about their dates. Kenneth says that he's not really feeling the girl that was selected for him because, he was in a bad space with Shorty. Alphonso stated that he wasn't interested in seeing his date again, and Otis also admitted that he did not want to see his date again. So for this week, all of the couples are going to be dating new people, basically, with the exception of Shorty and Hollywood. Shorty was choosing Hollywood heavy. He's an attractive man, I'm not going to lie. They look cute together. They look similar in a sense, like they're from the same tribe. But yeah, she was really choosing heavy. She's done with Kenneth. I think that she's afraid of leaving him, and Kenneth is making it impossible for her to leave the relationship because he needs her. For a man to go to your job and to stalk you and follow you to your new home, to force you to give him a place to stay, that is abusive, possessive, disrespectful behavior. And when Kenneth said that he's a Gemini, I was like, oh my God. Not to say all Geminis are crazy, but Geminis don't get enough credit for going off. They don't get enough credit for being loose cannons, for being very destructive, for being, for having mood swings, and 1 minute they're cool, the next minute they're cursing you out. Like, Geminis do not get enough credit for being, I don't want to say crazy, but unstable. The men and the women. Not all of them, of course. But if you look at certain celebrities who are Geminis, you can see from afar that they're Geminis based on their behavior. You don't even have to ask what their sign is. If you look at Azalea Banks, who has a mental disorder. If you look at Kanye West, who also has a disorder. If you look at, what's his name? Tupac, who went from being this righteous leader, teacher guy, to being to killing somebody on wax, to somebody who has a bad temper, to somebody who's, spitting at the police and popping off at authorities and going to jail. It's like these people have a dual personality, and they can be very dangerous if they're triggered. As a matter of fact, some of the most dangerous criminals are Geminis because they know how to rationalize doing some crazy shit. I'm going to get into that in another conversation. Not to say all Geminis are crazy. I don't want to hear, oh my God, all Geminis. I'm not saying all you guys are crazy, but the men and the women, they can flip a switch and you have no idea who you're dealing with. So anyway, Kenneth went on another date with somebody that Shorty knows. And I was like, I'm not sure if this is his type physically. I just think that he's interested in her as another option for him to rely on potentially, since he knows that Shorty is getting tired of him. I think he was attracted to the fact that she had her own career and she was semi-successful in a sense, and she had a cute little car and she could take care of him. I think he liked that aspect of it, and she was cool with like showing off the things that she had and talking about her career and competing for his attention, which I feel like is a way for him to seek out other opportunities to be with women that he can take advantage of or he can use for a place to stay. I'm not saying he doesn't love Shorty, but I don't think he loves Shorty like that. I think that he's an opportunist and he's using her for a place to stay. And so when another woman comes along that is, attractive and willing to play the role of mammy or mommy or play the role of Mrs. Build-A-Bear, because in the black community, some black women see it as a badge of honor to be able to take care of their man. So anyway, I think Shorty wanted to use this show as an opportunity or an excuse to get away from Kenneth because she was choosing Hollywood heavy. Like, she was really flirting with him. She was ready. She was open and ready to go. Okay. And, I don't know if she's his type or anything, or if he's ready to get so serious with somebody after being in a 9-year relationship. But I don't know. Like, Hollywood seems like he was flirting with her, but not too much. He didn't want to lead her on too much by saying certain things. So it is strange. I'm going to have to keep my eye out on him. And then Alphonso and Shay, they had a conversation during their session with Dr. Nicole, and Shay kept expressing her insecurities about Alphonso's work, I believe his name is, about Alphonso's work as far as him being in the entertainment industry, and basically she's afraid of losing him the way that she got him. Okay, she got him on Instagram, she saw him flexing and all the money and the jewelry and the shine and all that stuff, and she wanted a piece of that. Now that she's with him, she's afraid that another woman who wants the same thing that she wants will be able to seduce Alphonso from her grasp. It's exhausting being with somebody you cannot trust. I think Alphonso is irritated having to deal with Shay's insecurities. I don't think that Shay is submissive enough for Alphonso. I think Alphonso's baby mother knows exactly what's up. She plays her position. She collects the money. She stays in the house with the kids. She doesn't get on his nerves, doesn't get in his hair. And that is the reason why he's keeping her around and going on vacations with him. I think Alphonso is using Shay as a plaything, and I think intuitively she knows this too, which is why she keeps nagging and, complaining and whining and worrying about him, because subconsciously she knows that she doesn't have as much value to him as she would like. And she senses this, but she can't really communicate it well because, he's with her a lot. He spends money on her. They go on vacations and whatever. But there's a disconnect, and she cannot articulate why there's a disconnect. But if you feel more insecure by being with your man, then that is a problem. And I don't know if Alphonso can fix that problem. Alphonso's always going to have a bunch of women around him because he has a lot of money. That's his bait. So Shay's always going to be insecure because she got with him for his money. It's interesting that the woman who has all of this plastic surgery is the most insecure about other women. It is not enough to get your body done as bait. Just like Shay got her body work done as bait to seduce ballers like Alphonso, Alphonso uses his jewelry and his money as bait too. That's why on the next episode, Shay goes crazy when Alphonso walks into the room with that gorgeous dark-skinned woman. That woman was bad as hell. I'm like, God damn. I'm not gay at all, but she is stunning. And Shay was feeling some kind of way because she was a natural-looking stunning. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. If that was my man and he was with someone who looked like that, I would be like, yeah, I don't want you to cheat, but I wouldn't blame you if you did. Like, she's stunning. Anyway, Otis head goes on a date with a girl, and she's cute too. I like her energy. She reminds me of Shay a little bit. Not Shay, Charlana. She reminds me of Charlana. Otis's date reminds me of Charlana. And it was attractive. She was open, welcoming, and warming. Otis's face really aggravates me because he seems like such a condescending prick of a guy, like a jerk. And anyway, the lady was open and giving him a lot of clues that she was interested in seeing him again. And Otis kind of turned it down because he wanted to respect the boundaries he had set for Charlana. But I think in the coming episodes, we find out that Otis was still talking to her outside of the confines of the restrictions that he placed on this process. So that is an issue for, I believe, Charlana in the future. And I felt really bad for Charlana watching her face kind of crumble and her insecurities just crop up when she asked Otis about the date, and he didn't want to give her all this information. He's doing that because whatever he was going to tell her was going to be benign anyway. He didn't do anything wrong. It's on camera. So he's talking to the girl, whatever. But he's doing that. He withheld information from Charlana so that she could feel insecure. And, watching the reaction on her face, her face turned red. She was kind of like, not blushing, but she was flustered. I felt so bad for her because she's so pretty and so soft and pink and fluffy and warm. And to see her like feeling insecure to that extent, oh my God, she's so paranoid about him. She doesn't trust him. And, Otis was being petty by not telling her things because he knew that by not telling her information that Charlana's mind would begin to run and fill in the blanks and say, well, the reason why he's not telling me about her is because he actually likes her. And he wants her to think this way. He wants her to feel that emotion. And I mentioned this last week. He's very manipulative. He's very controlling and abusive psychologically and emotionally. So I feel really bad for Charlana. But on a positive note, her date kind of made her forget about what she was going through with Otis. And I like that about him. I feel bad for focusing on his teeth because that he has his real teeth. I'm just used to people on TV having perfect teeth. So I don't know if that will be an issue for Charlana. His grill is being messed up, but I liked his energy and his personality, and I like the conversation that he was having with her. He seems like, on paper, he's ready to start a family, but sometimes men tell you what you want to hear in order to get what they want in the beginning. So I don't trust anything that he says, but I do like his energy and his vibe and the way he came to her with respect. So I like the fact that he made Charlana smile and he answered her questions in a way that was basically acceptable to her. And I liked his responses too about submission and relationships and being an equal partnership and all this other stuff. So it's good that her eyes are being open to new possibilities for dating and relationships. I'm just a little concerned that she may make a superficial decision because, the guy's teeth are kind of messed up. But I like his energy for her. I like the vibe that they have together. Now back to Shorty in Hollywood. Shorty is so done with Kenneth. She's like, I tried to leave him several times, and I was so happy that Hollywood gave her some game saying, yeah, these men are dogs. You got to train them properly. And I like the fact that he was kind of taking on a role of, being a supportive person. He wasn't over-sexualizing the conversation. He wasn't trying to be too flirty, too nasty with her. But when she put her little hands in his hands, I was like, oh, they're so cute together. They look like an adorable couple. And like I said, they look similar, like they're from the same tribe or from the same people. I'm not sure if Shorty is like Somalian or East African and Hollywood is like Native American or American, but they were a really cute couple. And I think that as soon as Hollywood gives her the green light that he's ready to go, Kenneth is gone. Now, here's the deal. I think the problem with Shorty breaking up with Kenneth before is the fact that she didn't have a man or somebody to protect her from him. So when she got her new place, there wasn't a man there. Now, I'm not saying that's always safe because sometimes men go crazy and get violent when they see their ex with another man. I'm not saying that would have been a solution, but I think Kenneth would have been a bit more cautious and respectful of Shorty's boundaries if she had another man in the vicinity. Not to say that's the solution to the problem, but I think that's, that could have helped her when she tried to break up with him before. If she were to choose Hollywood this time, I think that, Kenneth would give her some more space and he would respect her decision more because there's another man involved and he would have to fight over her. And even though he's a crazy Gemini, I don't think he's ready for that kind of smoke. So yeah, I actually like the way that Shorty and Hollywood look together, even though his teeth look really, really fake. So, what's her name? Charlana's date's teeth was too rough and Hollywood's teeth looked too fake. But anyway, yeah, she was really choosing heavy. She likes him a lot. And he wasn't really giving her that much play. Like, he was giving her advice, but I don't think he was giving her play like that. I'm not sure if she's his type or I don't know. He wasn't as open or as receptive, in my opinion, to her advances as I thought. Or maybe he's being respectful because he's an usher in the church and she has a man and he doesn't want to get too caught up. But basically, Shorty's out the door. She's ready for him to go. When it comes to Otis, Mr. Petty, Otis, I think he's going to continue to see the girl that he went on a date with because he likes her vibe and her energy. And she kind of reminds him a little bit of Charlana. But that tattoo on her back, no, I don't think he wants someone like that. He's just going to use this girl to punish Charlana for misbehaving on her first date. And I loved Dr. Nicole's advice this particular episode when she talked about, number one, Shay and Alphonso, Shay feeling like she has to constantly monitor and manage Alfonso's behavior. That is not the way a relationship should be. And she's doing this because she doesn't trust him, but that's not going to stop him from doing what he wants to do. So she's going to have to learn how to be secure within herself. But Alphonso also has to learn how to establish firm boundaries in his relationships to let other women know, listen, I'm not interested in you that way. I have a girl, but I don't think he wants to do that because he did not get into that lifestyle to be with one woman. A man with a lot of money who's ignorant and not ready for commitment is not going to just choose one big booty dot. There are plenty of big booty dots in the world that he wants to enjoy. Shay should know this by now. A lot of women know to stay away from these type of dudes, industry men with, lots of money and no purpose or foundation in life. So they'll be spending their money on strippers and groupies and women who are attracted to them for what they have. So at the end of the episode, they come back together and they meet with Dr. Nicole to recap their dates. And Otis and Charlana get into an argument because of miscommunication, and she feels like Otis is withholding information from her to make her feel some kind of way. And she mentioned that she felt scolded by Otis, and that's the word that I used in my previous review because he was scolding her. And Dr. Nicole said, well, if she feels scolded now, it's because you were scolding her before. So even if Charlana is misinterpreting his microaggressions, the fact that he would ever scold her like she was a child in the first place is a problem in their relationship. They're not going to stay together. They can't stay together. They're clashing too much. And I don't think that Charlana wants to be submissive to Otis because she doesn't trust him 100%. That's why she was so impressed with her date when he said, why would you want to be with someone that you would not want to submit to? Or why would you want to be with someone that you don't want to be in equal partnership with? And that was an excellent point. I've always said the same thing. The man that I submit to, he's going to have to be worth that. It's not going to be any old man that, is attracted to me. That's not going to work. He has to be worthy of submission, and I have to be happy to do it and willing to do it with no question. You don't have to coerce me into submission. If you have to do that, then either I don't respect you that way, or you haven't proven to me why you should be submitted to. That's your problem. So yeah, I think that Charlana liked that about her date also with the bald-headed dude. They were getting into a debate, and like I said, Otis and his petty forehead, he was so dismissive. He had these facial expressions that were just dismissive of everything Dr. Nicole said. And Charlana was also, showing contempt for what he was saying. They don't trust each other. There's so many mind games that have been played that the relationship has become toxic now. So neither of them trust each other. Charlana doesn't trust Otis because she knows he's petty and insecure, and Otis does not trust Charlana because she's not 100% submissive to him and doesn't do exactly what he wants her to do. Apparently she has too much mouth for him. Even though everybody can see how submissive and sweet she is, she just wants to be able to trust him and not to abuse her submissiveness and not to abuse her innocence. Like I said, I felt so bad watching her. Listening to Otis recap his date and leave out information. She kept trying to pry for information, and when he wouldn't give it to her, he knew that she wanted this info to feel a bit reassured about the date, but he didn't give it to her because he was trying to punish her for making him feel some kind of way on his first date. So he wanted her to feel the way that he felt on her first date when she got the flowers. And that is why I said last time that he's a narcissist, in my opinion. I could be wrong because I've only seen him for 3 episodes now. But the psychological games, the emotional abuse, the fact that, they can't talk to each other without arguing, the fact that he dismisses her feelings and he scolds her like a child and then acts like that's not what he was doing. He doesn't understand that even if he doesn't say anything to her verbally, his attitude towards her, his expressions towards her, his mood swings, is also a form of scolding too. The fact that he, refused to tell her information about his date, that wasn't a verbal scolding, but that was emotional abuse. That was psychological abuse. And you could see her face. Like she was looking for the information. She was trying to figure out, how Otis felt about this girl. Now, I wish she wasn't as easily manipulated by him. I wish she was a bit more secure within herself. But I feel like Otis's mind games and controlling behavior and manipulation has been so corrosive to Charlana's self-esteem. Like she is really weak right now. She feels weak, insecure, and unsure of herself when it comes to this relationship. And it's hard to see her that way. Anyway, I look forward to reading you guys' comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll speak to you soon.